to stop there at the 15-minute mark. Otherwise, I have problems with my video maker. When x equals 90, they're saying, well, when the percent is 90, how much would it cost for the company to clean 90% of the pollution? Well, if we, okay, so you actually have this big graph that we put the limits for x and y. We went from 0 to 100 for the percent, which is P, and then Y, which is C here, is the cost. We went from 0 to 50,000. They kind of gave us a number to get in the ballpark. Otherwise, our graph would be a squiggly line. So the trick was with the cost of 90. So how to find that? It's really hard to like click where it is. So 90, you can see down here, you can change that. So this is the cost. So we went in here manually and we type in x equals 90, and that'll tell us the cost 90. And then you can click right on the dot. And so it's about $48,150. All right, that's how much it would cost for the company to produce 90% of the pollution. So that's what that's for. So yeah, we did that already. Okay, we did that. Our graph is nicer. So keep hitting save so you have this for later. Okay, you can go back and look at it later. The table shows the inputs and outputs for the function. Isn't that nice? So if you had a graphing calculator, you could find that out. We could simply get that by saying, okay, x equals 80. And then find out where that is. Did I do that? Oh, it's purple. Purple, sorry. So purple, that's cost there. And we can go in and we can get 70 and we can find our different amounts. If you had a graphing calculator, it would have that table function there for you. It doesn't automatically create a table for you here, but you can find out what values you need. But don't sweat that. You don't have to worry about creating a table. Just use type in the values that you need into Desmos and you'll have it. So here's a good problem. All right, so keep saving and then turn the functions off. All right, so you have something like type this function in here, so you can have f of x equal to y. So y equals 0.0155 x. Hit the squared button, okay? And then minus 1.213 x plus 75.26. Type that in there. Now, obviously, in order to redo this, I'll hit the home button. That brings it back to like the basic, or centered around 0. Okay. So we have some really small numbers here, right? Large and small numbers. Numbers get erratic. So using the wrench is going to be really, really important. All right, to be able to zoom in to exactly where we want. So there is a graph. We just can't really see it right now. So if we zoom out, see. Zoom out. All right, so let's see if we can figure out where the graph is. It might be somewhere, okay? That is, the input value of variable is 0 represents 1950. Okay, so 1950, they're counting x's as the years after 1950, so that's really important. Or the values that correspond to years. Okay, so since x is the number of years after 1950, what does x correspond to? 1960 to 2008, that would be 10 to 58, right? Because 60 is 10 after, okay? Moving on. So I guess we want to go 10 to 58 on our graph. Just want to make sure they want that, right? So, all right, so I guess I can set my wrench to 10 to 58. So just make sure you know how to do that. So you could put that in your calculator and figure out what that is. Put 10 to 58. All right, and you put that in your calculator and figure out what that would be. So if you put 10 in there, So that means that would tell you that in 1960, the percent of the voting population who voted in the elections, what was it? So you'd find out about 65%. All right, so if you put 10 in there, that's how you figure it out. So you would do 10 squared times this number. You should be able to say x equals 10. Let's see here. X equals 10. And you should find a point that joins them together. Let's see. Yep, right there. So you can do it on the TI-84, but on Desmos you can do it as well. You click on that point right there and bingo. You got about 65%. So that's what they got, okay? That's what that's saying. All right, what's 19? Can you get there? What do they want to know? They want to know, what do they want to know? So they want to know what percent of the population was voting in 2008. So in 2008, what percent of the population voted? Well, they're telling you, 2008, so that means x equals 58, right? So if we're looking at 2008, yeah, 58. So you have to say x equals 58. So they're comparing the percentage of people who voted what was that? 60 to 1958. To 2008, 1960 to 2008. So we put x equals 58 because x is the number of years after 1950. So you can see it's going to be much, much lower. Click it right there. And, oh, that's 0. I don't want 0. I want x equals 58. Where's x equals 58? There it is. So about 57%. So in 2008, because 1950 plus 58 is 2008, about 57%. So this Y number is the percent of people who voted. This X number, the domain number, that's the year. So the percent of votes depends on year. Okay, remember we talked about dependence, dependent variable and independent variable? That's just a function on the TI-84. There's millions of Americans. Okay, so again, some more practice here on how to do that. We'll do one more maybe. Those are steps on your calculator, but we'll do it. Okay, we'll do it on Desmos. So there's millions of Americans. Make sure to read the problem who are working full time from ages 20 to 65. All right. So again, you want to hit the save button. Click these off. Erase them. Okay. Some students have the tendency to erase all your work. Okay. So you want to keep that on there. Now type the function in there. So it's going to be y equals, it's a messy function. Don't let that bother you. In real life, we have messy numbers. Negative 0.000362. Eventually, we're going to get to the point where we create these models ourselves. Like we figure out this formula ourselves. But we're not there yet. All right. X cubed plus 0.0401x squared minus 1.39x plus 1.7. Enter. Okay. So now we have to center that from 20 to 65. Those are our input values, our years. So we have to make sure. So the graph is there. Even though you don't see it, don't get nervous, okay? It's going to be there. 20 to, it's just zoomed in or zoomed out in a funny way. So just remember that. 20 to 65. And then our Y range, well, that's the percent, right? So percent, what did we talk about that before? The millions of Americans, so we don't even know what that's going to be. So X is in millions. You don't know what that's going to be, but we know there's say 0 to, I don't know, 100 million, 200 million, I don't know. Oh, 200 million would be now, so let's say 100 million. Okay. I'm making that up. because I know the population is 300 million. So there you go. There's your graph down here. And I want to use this model to estimate the number of Americans between the age of 55 and 64 who are working full time. Oh, between Americans age 55 and 64. Okay, so 55 and 64. So that's our years. That's our independent. So we're gonna go x equals 55, and there's an intersection that's created there, and we use that intersection to figure out the percent of the people that age who are working. So if x equals 55, so at 55 years old, we click there and we say, oh, about 6.325% of people age 55 were working. And then at age 64, probably less people. So I'll get that right. At age 55, 6.325 million people were working. Okay, got to get this right. It's not percent. I got that in my head from the previous problem. Okay, so that's the number of people in millions who are working. So at age 55, about 6.325 million people that age were working. And at age 64, about 2.039 million workers were in the workforce. Okay, that's what that's telling us. All right, so, and you save that, guys. Save. So remember that little trick. You hit x equals and x equals for input values. There will be problems when we work backwards where we hit y equals when we have the out or the range and we're trying to find the input value. All right, so keep that in mind. This is just steps on a calculator if you can use the TI-84. Again, you could do the same thing on Desmos, just working backwards. That's the shape of our graph. We got that. We got the same thing. So that's good for now. I hope that was helpful to you. Come back soon with the next section.